Yeah. You know I appreciate y'all for rocking with me. You 4104, man. We've been in this race for a while. Let your prayers for me just be restored or I'm for the fight. Restore for me. Yo, I'll be just fine. I ain't asking for more much. More of you, less of me. Need your Father. Spirit, love, your tender care. God has been rough. Send your angels here. Patience when I serve. Make the fire with you. More than overcome. I believe what I read. Just like when the Messiah fled to the wilderness. This right here, this that obedience. This that environment, they ain't see me. I shall not bear a grudge if you can make the impression. Make it man, but gotta make the ends. This that kid a quick temper trying to make it in. Though the meek gon' get the hurt, the wicked running for the time. Got the faith, now watch what happen when your time is. So rock 11:10, mind your business. Don't need you chiming in. Unless it's present up, I'm for the fight. No, I'm all in, I'm about this, yo. Need your Father. Restore for me. I'll be just fine. I'm going of you, less of me. Yeah, need more. Spirit of love, all I need. Your tender care. God has been rough. All I send your angels. Patience when I serve. Take the fire with you. More than overcome. Let your prayers for me be restored or ring. I'm for the fight. Restore for me. I'll be just fine. More of you, less of me. Welcome the spirit of hell. Kala, hallelujah. I need more. Tell me what you want.
Tell me what you want from me. Walking through the hood, living comfortably. Couple threads hanging from my dungarees. We gon' bring the food, you can come for free. Teaching all the people that they sons are kings. And we let them know that the son the king. Demons in the past, now they run from me. Tell them all, I don't need your company. It's like the rebirth, tell them I ain't reading death toll. But you're free from the curses and the death code. And your hating enemies getting crept on. Cause they thinking we the ones that get slept on. At the feast, holding on to the weapon. All my brothers got Z's, that's the dress code. Now we face it to the east, that's a blessed code. Everybody feel better when you rest on Christ's power.
Tell me what you want.
Christ's power. Christ's power.
Tell me what you need.
Christ's power. Christ's power.
Just keep holding on.
Power. Christ's power.
What they need to see.
Christ's power. Christ's power.
Give them what they need.
Christ's power. Christ's power.
Give them what they need.
Christ's power. Christ's power.
Give them what they need.
Christ's power. Christ's power.
Give them what they need.
Ain't no different from a man in the truth and the man in the booth with his hand on his tool. When he damage his hand and his pants finna shoot, I'll be damned if we lose another man in his truth. Ain't no different from a man in the truth and the man in the booth when his hand on his tool. When he damage his hand and his pants finna shoot, I'll be damned if we lose another man in his truth. Kill brothers over chains in a set, bro. Ain't no difference when you bang over counts, bro. If another brother pray, he is blessed, bro. A lot of y'all never changed in the stressful. Tired of seeing people hate on the church, but you pain in the worst. Pick the faith over work. If you came from the earth, then you ain't living perfect. We prophesy in part, giving people what they yearning for. Power, Christ power.
What they need to see.
Christ power, Christ power.
Give them what they need.
Christ power, Christ power.
Give them what they need.
Christ power, Christ power.
Give them what they need.
Christ power, Christ power.
Give them what they need. Tell me what you want.
Christ power, Christ power.
Tell me what you need.
Christ power, Christ power.
Just keep holding on.
Hey, shalom, 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 Israel. All praise to the Most High. Can we do a quick sound check real quick? Quick sound check just to make sure my mic is working. I'm using a different mic than I did yesterday. It should be right here. Okay. Sounds like we are audible, right? We are audible. So all praise to the Most High. Hey, listen. Appreciate y'all for joining, man. This is going to be a short Sabbath class. We already had one for Sabbath morning brew this morning that went over Psalms 119. That was an excellent lesson, well thought out and well put together by Brother Keziah and Brother Knott, right? So now we're getting ready to go into a secondary portion of our lesson that we normally would do at the school. So brothers is feeling a little bit under the weather today, and then some other brothers have some things going on. So I'm going to teach it from here, all right? But all praise to the Most High. I'm Captain Yonatan. This is my son, Kakaria, right? So we're going to get into it, all right? So the topic of the class today is a mandate for all Israel, be ye holy, right? And we talk about this every once in a while. And like I said, we don't have to lean on it too long, but we talk about being holy and how holy is Kadash. And Kadash means to be set apart, and we're supposed to be a peculiar people, and we're supposed to keep the commandment. We talk about all this stuff all the time, but I think there's also another layer of it sometimes that we're not looking at, right? So let's start from the beginning, and then as we get closer to the middle of this lesson, we'll switch over and we'll read Joshua chapter 7, just to get a good example of holiness. You know what I'm saying? So anytime you got anything that comes to mind, feel free to jump in there. Let us know what you think. All right. So let's start with Leviticus chapter 20 and verse 26. All right. Leviticus chapter 20 and verse 26. So once again, we're going to start with the idea that the Bible commands us to be holy. All right. So let's go from there. Go ahead.
All right. This is the book of Leviticus chapter 20, verse 26. And it says, "And ye shall be holy unto me, for I, the Lord, am holy, and have severed you from other people, that ye should be mine."
You see that? So the Most High is commanding us to be holy, but it also says that he severed us from other people. So it's important that we don't look like the other people, right? We gotta emphasize this. It's important. Listen, connecting to the people that we are trying to connect to, and Paul said that he was like he became as other men so that he could win men, right? Hey, there's nothing wrong with that, but at the same time, it needs to be a spirit, it needs to be an aura on me that's not on these other nations, and it needs to be a spirit that's on us that even our own people don't carry, so that they can say, man, the Most High must be dealing with this guy, right? Just because of the way that he carries himself or the way that he conducts his life, right? So we got to make sure to represent that type of holiness. We don't want to blend in too much with the other people. It's okay, like I said, to connect with people, but you don't want to blend in with them to the point where you're unrecognizable. I bring this up all the time. Sometimes you can look at Israelite music videos and you can put the music on mute and just look at the imagery on the video, it looked like a regular music video. Real quick. It froze a little bit. But if the images that we are bringing forth and the things that we're bringing forth mimic the world so much and so closely that it's indistinguishable, then what's the purpose in somebody being able to look at us and say, yo, the Most High dealing with us? Like, the likelihood of that is not very high. All right, let's get another one. Let's get another verse that kind of goes into that. 1 Thessalonians 4:7.
I got it.
All right.
All right. This is the book of 1 Thessalonians chapter 4, verse 7. For God have not called us unto uncleanliness, but unto holiness.
Okay, so the Most High has not called us unto uncleanness. So he didn't call us out of this world so that we can come over here, grab the Bible, and still be the same thing that we was in the world. That don't even make no sense. Like, if the Most High wanted us to do that, he would have left us where we was at and let us go to the church on the corner, right? He didn't ask us to do that. He's asking us to come out, be ye separate, right? Come out of her, my people. Come over here. I'm calling you into cleanliness, and I'm calling you into holiness. So it's just important for us to think about. And I want Israel to really be mindful of this, because I think that we overly emphasize the fact that curse words are not sin. And we overly emphasize the fact that, hey, ain't no law that says I can't do X, Y, and Z. So I'm going to do X, Y, and Z. Well, that's true. You may be able to do X, Y, and Z, but is you doing that helping somebody else see the light in you? Or is that making it more foggy for them and more cloudy for them? For instance, it may not be a sin if your Sabbath, let's say your Sabbath falls Friday night to Saturday night. As soon as the Sabbath's over with, you at the club. Or as soon as the Sabbath over with, you out here doing whatever, you outside doing whatever. It's like, okay, cool. You're not breaking the Sabbath. You're not really doing nothing wrong, but you may confuse this person over here who's watching you, and they're like, yo, I don't understand why they're doing that. You know what I'm saying? Or you might be in a questionable environment, and then you may have a reason why it's okay to be in that environment. The thing is, we have to always be mindful of what our actions are telling the young people around us and telling the people that's not as strong in the faith around us, right? Paul said that he would not eat meat if it offended his brother, right? He would go so far as to change the way he eats so that he don't offend a brother. We should be living the exact same way when we talking about being holy. If I got a brother over here that's offended by me using curse words, then guess what? I'm not going to use curse words around him. If I got a brother over here that's offended when, you know what I'm saying, you know, I got this particular breakdown about the new moon, and I don't feel like the new moon is treated as in the same regard as when I'm hanging out with him and it's his new moon, I'm going to respect his new moon, right? I'm not going to cause another brother to stumble. All right, so let's get into it. Let's keep going. Hebrews 12 and 14. Just a couple of notes, then we're going to get right into the lesson. Just surrounded by Joshua chapter 7.
All right, I got it. Ready?
All right. Yep, go ahead.
All right, this is the book of Hebrews chapter 12, verse 14. Follow peace with all men and holiness, without which no man shall see the Lord.
Hey, we're supposed to follow peace with all men. This another thing that sometimes we overlook. You don't gotta go. Judah was teaching on this a couple of weeks ago. You don't gotta go out of your way to stop holding the door for the Edomite. You don't have to go out of your way. You know what I'm saying? An old white lady drop something on the ground at the grocery store. Like, yeah, you got to get that. Like, no, bro, come on. Like, and what did that message that you just sent show to the older lady of our people who saw you do that? Is she bound to come and ask you for anything now? No, because she's gonna be like, man, you just did that old lady wrong, right? Like, she looking at it like you just did that old lady wrong. She don't understand the context behind it, but you're sending the wrong message, right? So we have to be very careful with the message that we send. We're supposed to be following peace with all men and holiness. And without these things, no man will see the Most High, man. I think sometimes in our zeal and in our anger against these nations, we go further than the prophets went to prove that we mad at the nations, right? We go further than the prophets went to prove that we are mad at the nations, and that's unnecessary. We brought this out during Hanukkah. When Daniel saw Nebuchadnezzar, did Daniel go up there and be like, yo, the Most High gonna kill you and I can't wait to see it? I'm gonna have a front row seat to watch that. Did he say that? No, he said, King, live forever, right? He said, King, live forever. And then he prayed and the Most High gave him the interpretation, and all the wise men that were not in the truth and all the wise men that were actually wicked men, Daniel saved all their life. We see the same thing with Joseph. We see the same thing with Moses, right? We see all these people performing actions and showing up with a certain level of respect because the person that they standing in front of has a title that you need to respect or they're going to kill you. Yeah, Moses. Moses ain't show up to Pharaoh and just be like, yo, man, you ain't worth nothing to me no more. The Most High about to kill you and your son. Now what? Like, he wasn't talking crazy like that, because then we wouldn't have had the benefit of having Moses with us in the wilderness.
Yeah.
See what I'm saying? So anyway, I don't want to labor on that too long, but it's just something we got to think about. When you are going out of your way at camp to prove that the so-called white man is the devil, that the so-called Arab man is the devil, that the so-called Chinese man is the devil, did you offend somebody that was actually an Israelite? Right? Because in their ignorance, they're not going to sit there and listen to you. They don't want to spend the time. Their spirit hadn't drawn them to come spend the time to listen and learn and understand what you're saying. But what they saw was you was cussing out this Edomite over here. So in their mind, I'm never talking to them. Those guys are crazy. I'm never going to be associated with that. We got to be very careful to not be drawing that picture of ourselves. All right. Let's get into the portion about our conversations. And once again, we're going to bring this all back. But let's get 1 Peter 1:15 real quick. Yeah, I hope y'all having a blessed Sabbath, man. Just wanted to bring some precepts together.
1 Peter 1:15.
Yeah.
All right.
1 Peter 1:15. Just some stuff that we can meditate on and think about throughout the week, because I have it happen all the time. You know, I go to work and every once in a while, people know that I'll be reading my Bible. People know that I'm about like studying my Bible and stuff, right? So every once in a while, people will be like, yo, man, you know, my auntie or whatever like that. It might be an Edomite come up to me. Yo, you know, my auntie or whatever getting ready to have surgery. You mind saying a prayer for her? What do y'all think I say? What do y'all think I say? Y'all think I'd be like, ain't nobody praying for you, man? Give me the book of 1 Exodus chapter 97 and 17. Like, I'm not doing that. That's crazy, right? Number one, that's not showing the light to the other Israelites who are listening. Number two, if somebody asks you for prayer, if somebody asked Christ for prayer, what you thought he did? He prayed. Like, what we talking about, right? Even when you look at the centurion's daughter, right? You got people all throughout the New Testament. Now, we can have breakdowns and show that some of these people are Israelites. Most of these people are Israelites. But there are situations where Canaanites came up and was blessed, right? The woman at the well, she came up, asked Christ for something. He basically ignored her, was getting ready to walk away. He said, salvation is of the Jews. She kept pressing. And he was like, yo, because of your faith, I'm going to bless you. Like, I'm going to give you the crumbs that fall from the master's table. Why we can't do that, right? Rahab, all these people throughout the scriptures, why we can't come down off the high horse, right? We teach humility all the time, and we teach being puffed up all the time, and pride. That's a level of pride to say, yo, this person came to me and asked for prayer. I'm actually a king and a priest on this earth, and I'm not going to give them an avenue to pray. Like, that's crazy. I'm going to pray for whoever asks for prayer. All right. So let's keep moving, man. If the Most High is going to do what he does with it. Ain't nobody said they're going to get into the kingdom off of prayer, right? Now let's keep going. Let's get
1 Peter.
1 Peter 1:15.
All right, this is the book of 1 Peter, chapter 1, verse 15. But as he which hath called you is holy, so be ye holy in all manner of conversation.
Now I'm gonna let you break that one down. So be ye manner in all, or be ye holy in all manner of conversation.
Okay, so basically it's just saying that whenever you're conversing with anybody, like you should always have in the back of your mind that what you're saying needs to be holy and it needs to be able to edify somebody, which you also hear.
Facts. 100%. We got to think about it. You know, once again, even with these debates, a lot of good debates going on in Israel as far as, hey, I'm going to sharpen my sword up with the information on this debate. But is that debate going to devolve into a bunch of ad homs and then now I'm calling you this and I'm calling you that and you stupid and you don't know the scriptures? How is anybody getting edified at that point? And I watch some of these debates and it's like people will allow things to go over their head. They will allow the conversation to go over their head. And because it went over their head, man, your whole debate was whack. You stupid. You don't even know what you're talking about. You ain't proved nothing. It's like, bro, like, you literally just forgot why we was on here debating. We on here debating. I'm not going to change your mind. You're not going to change my mind. We on here debating to edify these people that's watching. You see what I'm saying? Let your conversation be fruitful. Same thing when you at work and you upset. If you running around here telling people, yo, man, I don't celebrate Christmas. You giving them the light. You giving them wisdom. I don't celebrate Christmas, man. You know, I looked into it. Yeah. Our people never celebrated Christmas, so I don't do all that, right? This is what I do on the feast days. And I study my scriptures and boom, boom, boom. And you dropping little nuggets. And then as soon as you get mad at somebody, you out here cussing them out. They're confused. They're like, dang, this the same brother was telling me about the scriptures yesterday.
Double-minded.
You see what I'm saying? Now they looking at you like you double-minded and they don't know what to take, what's good, what's wrong. Don't do that, right? Make sure your conversation is fruitful. At home, make sure your conversation is fruitful, right? Look, if I get into an argument with, I'm going to use the kids as an example. Anytime I get mad at my kids, I should never get to the point of I'm talking about your character as who you are as a person, right? I should be talking about what you're doing right now so that we can constructively move past this and say, hey, you are doing X, Y, and Z. You need to stop doing that. You need to fix it. If I'm breaking off into, man, you're just a bad person. Boom, boom, boom. These are things that people will take with them and carry with them later, right? So our conversation has to be fruitful and edifying on every level. At work, at home, with my spouse, right? With the people in the camp. It all needs to be fruitful. All right. So we can go in on that for a while, but I'm not going to. Let's get Colossians 4:6. Just giving y'all a couple of things to meditate on throughout the week. All right. Yes, sir. Right. Hey, let me know when you're ready to jump up, Ak, and I'll bring you up. If you was trying to join. All right. Go ahead.
All right, this is the book of Colossians, chapter 4, verse 6. Let your speech be always with grace, seasoned with salt, that ye may know how ye ought to answer every man.
Okay. Now, seasoned with salt, we break this down all the time, so I'm not even going to go into it. But let your speech be seasoned. Okay, Con. Let your speech be always with grace, seasoned with salt. What do we know about salt? Salt is great for adding flavor. You know that, right? Yeah. So it's great for adding flavor to something. But if you add too much salt to anything, you're going to destroy it, right? It's going to be inedible. You ain't going to be able to eat it, and it's going to taste bad. You're going to have a headache afterwards. Like, about to be crazy. So you got to be careful when you adding your wisdom or your salt to your speech. Sometimes we look at it like, man, I'm telling the truth, so it don't matter how much truth I put in here. It don't matter how I tell you. You just got to take it because it's the truth. Nah, not really. Right? Because your mom your mom expects a certain level of communication when you talk to her. Your father expects a certain amount of respect in the communication when you talk to him. So if you come to that person, even if you're telling them the truth, and I walk up to my mom, hey, yo, man, that's stupid. We ain't doing that. You about to, number one, you about to get smacked, number one. And number two, why am I going to listen to my child talk to me like that? Everything you said after that goes out the window. And that is the exact same thing with anybody else on this earth, man. I think that in our zeal, we have lost the sense of being able to communicate things to people cleanly, because when you add too much emotion into your communication, what happens is you let the other person off the hook. I could have just told you 1,000 pounds of truth. I could have just gave you 1,000 pounds of truth, and you'll be like, yo, I don't like the way you said that. And now I just let you off the hook. You know what I'm saying? Now we can spend the rest of the conversation just talking about how I said it. And we never get to the real point. So if I have clean communication that's seasoned with salt, and I make sure to say it a certain way, you got to deal with what was said and not how it was said.
Exactly.
Right? I hope y'all understand that. Yeah. He says it's not about what you say, but how you say it. Yeah, a lot of the times, they say that what is it, like 85% of communication is nonverbal. So that means that most of what I communicate to you has nothing to do with my words. It's about my body language. It's about my tone. It's about everything that comes along with it, right? It's not necessarily what you said. It's 100% how you said it. Okay, cool. Let's keep moving. So before we get into Joshua, I got one more point. So we covered 2 points so far about holiness. The Bible commands us to be holy, right? We all know Matthew 5:48. So we didn't pull that, but we pulled Leviticus 20. We pulled 1 Thessalonians and Hebrews. And then we got into our conversations, and our thoughts need to be holy. I have one that was iniquity. I used to pull this one all the time. Hold tight. Iniquity. Even the thought of foolishness is iniquity or something like that. Boom, boom, boom. Give me a quick second here. Proverbs 24:9.
All right, this is the book of Proverbs, chapter 24, verse 9. The thought of foolishness is sin, and the scorner is an abomination to men.
Hey, the thought of foolishness is sin. So just having a thought of foolishness, right, is a sin already. This is why Christ says that all the evil things, they come from within first, right? It starts in the heart. So if you got a bad spirit when you come to communicate something to somebody, you're already in the wrong posture to communicate it properly. That's why sometimes when people get mad, they might need some space. They might need some time, right? It's wise for you to give them that space, give them that time. Now, it should be a limit on that time. And maybe if it's you and your wife, you two should have come to a conclusion on, hey, this is a reasonable amount of time. We're not going to go 3 days and you need space. No. But if you need a couple of hours to, think about it, pray about it, whatever, that's reasonable. And you should have a cap on the amount of time that's reasonable, right? But look at what it says, verse 9. It says, and the scorner is an abomination to men. Why does it say that? A person who is always scornful and always communicating with negative intent, who want to be around that person? Every time you come with an idea, me and Judah be talking about this all the time. Every time you come with an idea, man, that ain't gonna work. That ain't gonna work. How you gonna get the money? It's like, dang, bro, we can't pray and get the money, bro. Like, yo, we can get up there and do a car wash or something, man. Like, what you talking about? But it's those people that they don't really believe, right? They the mood killer. They the party killer. They're gonna kill every idea that you come up with. It don't matter what it is. And so the scripture says that those people are not good to be around. Well, think about it. Or the scripture says that those people are not desirable to be around. Well, think about it. If you, every time you come around your family, you're coming with truth, right? You're coming with nuggets of truth, as you call it. And every single time you come in there, hey, mama, I done told you about that white Jesus picture, man. You gotta go ahead and take that down. Hey, mama, man, you doing the Christmas tree again? Hey, yo, the Bible say that. Every time you come around, like, I don't even want to be around you no more. So I want to say this: be careful for the people that's first just now coming into this truth, and you kind of new to this way of life, because we all made this mistake. Be careful coming around people being like that, because number one, you're not going to be desirable to be around, and number two, it's not going to be taken the way you want it to be taken. You want it to be taken as in, yo, this person told me the truth. I'm going to stop what I'm doing and I'm going to listen to the truth. But the reality is people don't live like that, right? People don't stop what they're doing and listen to the truth, right? What they do is they see patterns over time, and then they recognize those patterns in time, and then they react to the pattern. That's what happens. Let me give you a perfect example. When you're looking at the weatherman might say, it's going to snow tomorrow. You're going to be like, it don't never snow here. So even if, it don't never snow. We in North Carolina, we in Raleigh. Okay, cool. We might get a little bit of snow tomorrow. Now, if the last 4 or 5 years it has snowed in your region, let's say you in Ohio, Michigan, or something like that, Chicago, every year it snows, it's like, all right, cool. It's definitely going to snow. Because we pay more attention to patterns than we do to when somebody's trying to tell us something, right? So it's just something to think about. If you're coming into this truth and you want to be a truth teller to the people in your family and the people in your life, it's going to take creating a pattern and them seeing that pattern. But at the same time of you creating that pattern and letting them see that pattern, you don't want to destroy your reputation amongst those people by being the party crasher that always comes and always crashes every single occasion, right? I'm not saying don't tell the truth. I'm just saying you can have a regular conversation with your parents outside of trying to correct them every single time you see them. You can have a regular conversation with your cousins and your homeboys without trying to correct them every single time you see them. They know what you're about. You know what I'm saying? Give space and opportunity, the time for you to show your holiness to them. But that don't mean you got to come in there and be the party crasher every single time you see them, right? Now, to balance that out, because this is what the lesson is about. To balance that out, we're going to get Galatians 2:11 real quick. Galatians 2:11. So I'm going to show you something. On the other hand of that coin, being holy means, all right, that you are crafting and creating your environment. If you're holy, is certain things that you're not going to be around, and there's certain things that you're never going to be okay with. So that means the people in your circle, for me, for instance, smoking weed, doing any type of substances that's going to alter your mind state is out, right? For me, I don't want to be around that at all, period. So when it comes to a holy lifestyle and it comes to creating a holy environment that you want to be in, you have to be able to stand up and say what needs to be corrected, right? And that's the story that we're going to read here in a second, right? First example we're going to get is Galatians 2:11.
All right, that's the book of Galatians chapter 2, verse 11. But when Peter was come to Antioch, I withstood him to the face because he was to be blamed.
Okay, so before we get into the story, Paul is speaking. Paul is a master of the law. By all standards, Paul probably outranks Peter. But in this situation, Paul does not outrank Peter because Peter was handed the keys directly from Yahushua. Yahushua said, you're the rock that I'm going to build the church on. So Peter is the top ranking man, right? But Paul knows what he knows. And Paul knows what's right and what's wrong. And Paul does not sit back and say, you outrank me, so I'm going to be quiet. Paul says, this is wrong, and I'm going to speak up. Right? So this is the balance that we're talking about. Go ahead. Let's keep going. Verse 12.
For before that, this is chapter 2, verse 12. For before that, certain came from James. He did eat with the Gentiles, but when they were come, he withdrew and separated himself, fearing them which were of the circumcision.
Go ahead.
And the other Jews disassembled likewise with him, insomuch that Barnabas also was carried away with their dissimulation.
Go ahead. Verse 14.
But when I saw that they walked not uprightly according to the truth of the gospel, I said unto Peter before them all, if thou, being a Jew, livest after the manner of the Gentiles, and not as do the Jews, why compellest thou the Gentiles to live as the Jews?
Okay.
As do the Jews?
Right. Now, why are we bringing this out? Because Paul is seeing that, hey, you over here talking about, or you over here acknowledging that I'm the apostle to the Gentiles, and I'm supposed to bring them in because these are the Israelites who lost their covenant, their heritage and all that stuff, and now they're coming back to the covenant, and they can rightfully come back through Christ. But at the same time, you treating them funny when other Jews come into the room. Why are you doing that? Right? We have to, an important part of being holy is we have to be willing to stand up and say when something is wrong. It's too many people in our community, and we've seen a lot of things happen in this past couple of months, but it's too many things in our community that people know and they're not saying nothing about. Right? How are we going to be holy if we so ready to tell the pastor that he do everything wrong? We so ready to go to camp and tell them that they do everything wrong. We so ready to debate these people in Clubhouse and tell them that they do everything wrong. And inside your own ranks, you keeping your mouth closed. That's crazy, right? Holiness demands that we step up and say what's right, right? Why are you treating, I'm going to use an abstract random example. Abstract, random, out of nowhere example. I used to laugh all the time and say, you don't see a whole bunch of people who used to be in the homosexual lifestyle that repent and are now standing and holding posts at camp. You don't see that often. You know why you don't see that often? Because of the shame and the guilt that comes with that. And people will be looking at them sideways. And so it's very difficult for them to take that shame and guilt and be able to stand on posts and be like, you know what, bro, I was living that lifestyle, but I repented and now I'm up here with y'all. We would treat that person like, boy, we would kill them. It would be over. Everybody knows that. And everybody watching this class knows that it will be over. Y'all saw what recently happened with a lot of different people. It will be over. If we was to ever catch wind of that, it would be memes, Diddy jokes, all type of stuff. Right? But let a brother used to be a drug dealer. You gonna know that. You gonna know that. He gonna tell you that. Let a brother used to be a gangbanger. He gonna tell you that. You gonna know that. You see what I'm saying? The reason I'm bringing this up is it's a double stack. If we truly are about the people repenting and becoming a new man, the same argument that Paul was making with Peter, if we truly are about the Gentiles coming back into this thing, why I'm treating them different? So if I'm truly about repentance and salvation, if a guy who used to be in a homosexual lifestyle comes in, bro, I shouldn't have no different looks at him than the guy who used to be a gangbanger, bro. That's the facts.
Yeah, sin is sin.
Right? Sin is sin. And at the end of the day, everybody, last time I checked, everybody on this live and everybody on all the Israelite lives everywhere are coming out of a lifestyle of sin. So why do I say all that? I say all that to say this. Holiness requires that somebody holds the standard to both. Somebody got to say, hey, listen, we're doing this over here, but we're not doing this over here. And according to the scripture, we're supposed to be doing it on both sides. Right? Let's get one more example from the New Testament. No, we already read Galatians. Let's get Genesis 18 and 19. Right, Genesis 18 and 19.
All right, this is the book of Genesis, chapter 18, verse 19. For I know him, that he will command his children and his household after him, and they shall keep the way of the Lord to do justice and judgment, that the Lord may bring upon Abraham that which he hath spoken of.
Okay, read it one more time because I was still flipping.
All right,
the brother be getting to the scriptures too fast, man. He be cheating.
All right, this is the book of Genesis, chapter 18, verse 19.
Let's start at verse 18.
All right, this is the book of Genesis, chapter 18, verse 18. Seeing that Abraham shall surely become a great and mighty nation, and all the nations of the earth shall be blessed in him.
Go ahead.
For I know him, that he will command his children and his household after him, and they shall keep the way of the Lord to do justice and judgment, that the Lord may bring upon Abraham that which he hath spoken of him.
Okay, so bringing this out to demonstrate that holiness requires that the people under your care and under your leadership are moving in holiness. That was actually the standard for why the Most High was rocking with Abraham the way he was, right? For is a connecting word, but for means because. He's saying Abraham is surely going to be a great and mighty nation because I know him, and he will command his children and his household after him, and they shall keep the way of the Lord. If you're not moving that way, or if you find it hard to do that, maybe, hey, sometimes we come into the truth and our kids are already grown. Sometimes we come into the truth and our household is already set in its ways, and it's harder to make that change, right? Once again, that's where it's going to come to the patterns. You got to win them over with your patterns. You got to be praying to the Most High and win them over with your patterns. Sometimes if we set a course of action for people, they got to go through that course of action. And then in time, they will come back and see it later. I was fortunate enough where our kids was really young when they started learning the truth, right? But when we look at Abraham, when we look at camp leaders, when we look at congregation leaders, when we look at mores and all the different people in the Israelite community who teach other people, they are being judged on the fact that they are upholding a standard of righteousness. I want to say this. What we should be known for is not having all the breakdowns and having all the precepts. Having all the breakdowns and having all the precepts is only good if it translates into how you are as a person. It's the only time it matters. If you got every breakdown and every precept, you can still not be admitted into the kingdom, right? And newsflash, you don't have every breakdown and you don't have every precept. So if that's your goal is trying to be something that's not even attainable, and then you're leaving aside the thing that's even more important. The thing that's more important is how we live and how we represent the Most High on this earth, right? Okay, so get into it. Let's get Joshua chapter 7. Right, we're going to read verses 1 through 26, but we're going to kind of fly through it. But the story is going to highlight the importance for being holy and the importance for making sure your environment is holy. If you got people in your environment that's not holy, I'm going to use the example that I used earlier. If you're on a basketball team, right? So we watched me and Kakaria watched a documentary on the USC Team USA basketball. That was excellent. The Dream Team. Yeah. And it was back before, it was when it was losing, right? So my stomach grumbling. But they went through the whole Team USA thing and they lost that tournament. This was the one year that they lost the tournament. They had Kobe, they had LeBron, they had Melo, KD, like everybody was on the squad, right? And they still lost. They had to go back to the drawing board and say, yo, why are we losing? They thought, I got all the greatest basketball players on one team, and there's no way we can lose. That's what they was thinking. So that was the attitude they came in with. And they got beat by Spain and a bunch of guys you never heard of before. Yeah. Right? Because they was playing better team basketball. So when we come back and look at, we go back to the drawing board, the thing they have to do now is they have to go back to the drawing board and say, yo, what caused us to fail? And I think we need to do this as a community sometimes. Brothers always quoting the prophecies that say we won't see eye to eye till Zion come or till he bring again Zion, bring again. I don't even want to hear that precept no more. Like y'all are using that as an excuse. The reason y'all can't work together because we're not a team. You're a bunch of individuals. You are very good at jump shots, and you just want to come into the game and shoot your jump shots. You're very good at dunking, and all you want to do is dunk. And we got a bunch of camps coming together with all these different skills, and all they want to do is bring their own skills to the table instead of somebody putting us together as a team. Go ahead.
Another thing is that when you watch that, you'll see like Kobe was talking about how he was the only one actually working. Like after they was done with their workday, LeBron and them would be out partying all night.
Right.
So like they was not actually putting in the work that they needed to be putting in so they can become a team function. They was just being individuals.
That's a fact. And the thing is, where did that get us, right? Well, we ended up with the best 3-point shooter of all time.
Yeah.
That's wonderful. It don't help you if you can't win the game.
Yeah.
We got LeBron, who's probably arguably the best athlete of all time.
Yeah.
Right? You got KD, unstoppable. Like you got all these great people. Cool. If you can't win, it don't matter.
Yeah.
Right? So if we're looking at the Israelite community now and we're saying, hey, listen, this camp over here, nobody can beat them with the precepts and the breakdowns. This camp over here, nobody can beat them with the smooth way they bring the scriptures out. This camp over here, ain't nobody holding a better camp than them. That camp over there, they got organization all the way down. It don't matter if we can't put it together.
Yeah.
It don't matter. All right. So we're going to read a story now, Joshua chapter 7, that talks about the importance of the entire team functioning, right? The entire team has to function the entire team has to function on a certain level for us to be successful, especially according to the Most High. So we're going to go ahead and get that. Let's get Joshua chapter 7.
All right, let's
start at verse 1.
Joshua chapter 7, verse 1. But the children of Israel committed a trespass in the accursed thing. For Achan, the son of Carmi, the son of Zabdi, the son of Zerah, of the tribe of Judah, took of the accursed thing. And the anger of the Lord was kindled against the children of Israel.
Okay, before we go into that, what's happening in this story is they were just getting ready to battle the city of Ai. And they were commanded the silver and the gold is going to be dedicated to the house of the Lord, and then everything else, don't touch it. It's accursed, right? And so there's this one guy who ended up keeping something, but nobody knows that at this point, right? Nobody knows that yet. So let's keep going.
All right. Verse 2?
Yep, verse 2. And you can read straight down, and I'll stop you.
Okay. And Joshua sent men from Jericho to Ai, which is beside Beth Aven on the east side of Bethel, and spake unto them, saying, Go up and view the country. And the men went up and viewed Ai. And they returned to Joshua and said unto him, Let not all the people go up, but let about 2,000 or 3,000 men go up and smite Ai, and make not all the people to labor thither. Now, they are but few.
Now, how many people went up to fight against Ai? 2,000 or 3,000 people, right? I'm gonna put this in the chat. 2,000 to 3,000 people. I'll put this up here. All right, go ahead.
Okay. Verse 4. And the men, verse 4. Yeah. And so there went up thither of the people about 3,000 men, and they fled before the men of Ai. And the men of Ai smote of them about 36 men, and chased them from before the gate, even unto Shabarium, and smote them in the going down. Wherefore the hearts of the people melted and became as water.
Okay. Now, I want to say this. I read this wrong earlier. This thing says 3,000 people went up, and 36 people were smoted. And after the 36 people was killed, they was like, yo, we got to get up out of here. You got 3,000 people, 36 people died. It's a war. Like, what you thought was going to happen?
Yeah.
36 people is not bad. That's like 1%.
Sometimes you got to sacrifice your rope to.
Yeah, facts. This man they went in there and 1% of their people died, and they was like, yo, we out. What? Where you do that at? Right, keep going.
All right. And Joshua rent his clothes and fell to the earth upon his face before the ark of the Lord,
until
the eventide, he and the elders of Israel, and put dust upon their heads.
Come on.
And Joshua said, Alas, O Lord God, wherefore hast thou at all brought this people over Jordan to deliver us into the hand of the Amorites to destroy us? Would to God we had been content and dwelt on the other side of Jordan. O Lord, what shall I say when Israel turneth their backs before their enemies? For the Canaanites and all the inhabitants of the land shall hear of it, and shall environ us round, and cut off our name from the earth. And what wilt thou do unto thy great name?
Okay, so Joshua comes back after the people retreat from Ai. Joshua comes back and prays to the Most High. He's like, yo, I'm confused. I thought you wanted us to go take this land. At this time, he still don't know there was a guy amongst him with sin. And this is what's so important about being holy and about controlling your environment. You could be going so hard in one direction trying to build something, and it just don't work. It just don't work. It just don't work. And then you come back to the Most High and you like, yo, I thought you wanted us to do this. I thought you was going to pave the ground for us so that we could bless this community, work in this community, bring these people to the truth. Why is it not working? Why every time we go up there, we getting killed by the city, right? And then the Most High come back and be like, oh, because there's some people in your camp that ain't doing right. It's some people in your camp that got sin. It's some people in your camp that got the accursed thing, and that's what's slowing down your progress. That'd be crazy. Because see, the whole job of having elders, the whole job of having leadership is to cultivate the spirit of that camp, to make sure that everybody is being a team member and everybody is pulling their weight and moving in righteousness so that we don't have little hiccups like that, right? But watch what happens in the story, right? Go ahead. Verse 10.
And the Lord said unto Joshua, Get thee up, wherefore thou liest thou thus upon thy face. Israel hath sinned, and they have also transgressed my covenant, which I commanded them. For they have even taken of the accursed thing, and have also stolen, and dissembled also, and they have put it even among their own stuff. Now,
we looked up the word dissembled. The word dissembled is dealing with sin or deceit. Remember, we looked that up. So the word dissemble is dealing with deceit. So this is not a situation where it's like, yo, everybody knew he had it. No, while those people was going up to fight the war and the 36 men died, this brother knew he had stole something. This brother knew he did something the Most High asked him not to do. So the thing is, how is it that you knew that, and yet and still you wanted to allow us to go through the motions, and you knew you had this in your back pocket. You knew the Most High wasn't rocking with that. That right there is enough to have to separate yourself from a person, right? This is excellent. Let's get it. Let's get it. So this is the definition of dissemble. It says the term dissemble is not used in a literal mechanical sense in the Bible. Instead, related biblical concepts revolve around the spiritual ideas of hypocrisy, deceit, and being unsettled in faith. You see that? It would be crazy if I was putting my life on the line. I'm going up to fight a city, and the Most High not with us the whole time, and the guy beside me has an accursed thing in his tent.
Yeah, literally.
You like when I find that out, I'm about to be like, yo, like that's crazy, bro. But you know how much that happens? You know how much that happens, and then we sit back and we quote these prophecies on why everything ain't happening. See, brother, we still in captivity. That's crazy, bro. Don't quote nothing. Right? Now, let's keep going. Right? I want you to go back to verse 12. Watch this.
Therefore, the children of Israel could not stand before their enemies, but turned their backs before their enemies, because they were accursed. Neither will I be with you anymore, except you destroy the accursed thing from among you.
Okay. So the children of Israel could not stand before their enemies because they were afraid. So they turned their back on their enemies, right? Now look what it says. Neither will I be with you anymore, except you destroy the accursed thing from among you. This is what holiness is. This is what this whole class is about. You're not going to be able to get to that next level until the accursed thing is gone, until the whatever that spirit is, whatever that secret sin is that's holding it back. That's the reason you can't get to the level that the Most High trying to get you to. Right? That's the reason they couldn't conquer AI. That's the reason that let's be carnal with it. That's the reason the Dream Team couldn't win, because they had to go back to the drawing board and say, yo, what's holding us back? And they found out it's ego. They found out it's ego and it's not working as a team. And that's the exact same thing, right? It's got to be ego if you got a brother who is in the congregation with you, y'all getting ready to go to war. He done stole something he not supposed to steal, and people start dying, and he's still quiet. That's crazy. And now, and when we read that story, it's like, dang, it's kind of harsh that the Most High had him kill the whole family. But is it? You know what I'm saying? Like, is it? This man, look how long this man lied about this, right? And put lives in danger. And then now he on the front line, the main one, watching people go to war and die, man.
Yeah, and to be fair, because like you'll see like other people in the Bible, like when Saul, he didn't kill one of the Canaanite kings, and then from him, Haman came.
Correct.
So, like, if you decide, okay, I'm not going to kill the whole family, I'm just going to spare him, then his son could. Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? That's ridiculous. So as Israel, this is a mandate for Israel. This is not a suggestion. This is not an ask. If you were part of the nation that the Most High going to bring into the kingdom, it's mandatory that we uphold righteousness and that we ensure that the people beside us is upholding righteousness, right? We can't be sitting around here, yo, man, you know, brother, giving people half advice that don't really tell them the truth of the matter. Because at the end of the day, we're going to be held responsible for that, right? Let's keep going. Imagine if Joshua took this information. The Most High was like, yo, Israel sinned. And Joshua was like, dang, man, that's my homeboy over there, though. I can't throw him out there like that. That's my boy. Most High got to kill Joshua now.
Yeah.
So the level of leadership that you got to be on, it literally got to be, nobody is going to get away with this around me. That's leadership, right? And that's what we are imploring everybody on this call to do. And especially when it comes to defending the name of Israel and defending how we treat people in the airways, in the highways, and the byways, man. Yes, this is a Moses type of vibe. Moses was not letting nobody slide. It didn't matter. When you go back and read the story of the golden calf, that was going to be my example today. When you go back and read the story of the golden calf, it was Levites. It was Levites out there that was doing the wickedness sometimes. So that means Moses and Aaron, go put your brothers to death. You see what I'm saying? So, yeah, facts. It all comes down to accountability. Yeah, my fault. Yeah, it all comes down to accountability. Right? All right, let's do it. Let's go verse 13.
Okay. Sanctify the people and say, sanctify yourselves against tomorrow. For thus saith the Lord God of Israel, there is an accursed thing in the midst of thee, O Israel. Thou canst not stand before thine enemies until ye take away the accursed thing from among you.
Go ahead.
In the morning, therefore, ye shall be brought according to your tribes. And it shall be that the tribe which the Lord taketh shall come according to the families thereof. And the family which the Lord shall take shall come by households. And the household which the Lord shall take shall come man by man. And it shall be that he that is taken with the accursed thing shall be burnt with fire, he and all that he hath, because he have transgressed the covenant of the Lord, and because he have wrought folly in Israel.
So the Most High said, yo, we're going to go person by person then, since y'all want to do it like this. Now, the Most High already knows who it is. In many situations with us, if we see something stagnant, on a basketball team, on a football team, anywhere where it may be, it's going to take a lot more investigation, right? The Most High not just going to reveal who it is. In this particular situation, People was dying, and the guy who was guilty sat back and let it happen, right? Now, watch what happens in verse 16. And that's something to think about too. You have people amongst you who are struggling with X, Y, and Z, and we all struggle, right? We all struggle. They struggling with X, Y, and Z to the point where it may be causing a judgment to come upon them or upon their congregation or upon their family or their household. And in a situation where that happens, think about how important it is when that person called you on the phone the week before, you should have gave them the right counsel. When that person called you on the phone the week before, you had an opportunity to give them the proper precepts. But because your friendship was so thick, it was hard for you to tell the truth. Your friendship was so dear, it was difficult for you to tell that person, yo, I ain't even gonna lie. You all the way, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, every precept is against that, right? But your friendship is so strong with this person, you can't say that. Now, whose shoulders does that judgment fall on now? Not only does it fall on your shoulders, but it falls on that person's shoulders. This is my theory of why this brother's whole family had to be destroyed. We talked about that this morning. We was meditating over this morning. We was like, first of all, the stuff that he stole, they live in a tent.
Yeah, how you hide that?
How you hiding something in the tent? Right. So that means when you came in, and my son made a good point. He was like, that's like if you steal some Jordans from Foot Locker. You ain't gonna be able to wear them.
Because everybody's gonna know. Everybody's instantly gonna know. Then in the car, where are you gonna hide it?
That's what I'm saying. Like, everybody gonna be like, hold up, bro. Like, you shining over here. Like, where you get them Jordans from? And everybody just gonna be like, nah, bro, you the one who stole them Johns. Now, if that's the case, that means that everybody in the house knew it was stolen goods that he wasn't supposed to have. That means the judgment that fell on the whole household was just and true, because the entire household knew exactly what was going on. I believe that, right? And we're going to read it, and we're going to see what he had. And once again, you can't hide this, right? But go ahead. All right. Verse 16.
So Joshua rose up early in the morning and brought Israel by their tribes, and the tribe of Judah was taken.
Stop. Hey, this ain't even something I need to really harp on, but I'm going to. Joshua rose up early in the morning to get this job done. Because when it comes down to preserving the holiness of the nation, when it comes down to getting rid of a possible plague that's going to destroy half of your people, you got to move quick. And you don't know what sin there is out there. You don't know if the brother who just called you, hey, man, I got a question. You don't know if that brother, if what he just asked you is going to be that sin. So every time you have to rise up early to solve that. Right? But go ahead.
Okay. Verse 17. And he brought the family of Judah, and he took the family of the Zarhites, and he brought the family of the Zarhites man by man, and Zabdi was taken. And he brought his household man by man, and Achan, the son of Carmi, the son of Zabdi, the son of Zerah, of the tribe of Judah was taken. And Joshua said unto Achan, my son, give, I pray thee, glory unto the Lord God of Israel, and make confession unto him, and tell me now what thou hast done. Hide it not from me. And Achan answered Joshua and said, indeed, I have sinned against the Lord God of Israel, and thus have I done. When I saw among the spoils a goodly Babylonish garment, and 200 shekels of silver, and a wedge of gold of 50 shekels weight, then I coveted them and took them. And behold, they are hid in the earth in the midst of my tent, and the silver under it.
Sheesh. So this man went and stole a garment. Now think about this. If everybody in your household know what you know, the clothes you got. I can't even
on the clothes like
let me come home with a new shirt. Like, my rib gonna be like, you got this shirt? Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, everybody gonna know. So you got a brand new garment that you just stole. You was never gonna be able to wear it. Then you got some gold and some silver. What you gonna sell that? Where you get that from? You don't just come upon gold and silver.
Yeah.
Right? Stupid stuff. Right? Stupid stuff. And this shows you the stuff that we'll lie over too, right? We harp on this a lot. If you lying about stupid stuff, that don't make no sense. If you're going to lie, I mean, God forbid, don't even lie, right? But God forbid you lie, please don't let it be over nothing stupid. Because like, why bring a judgment upon yourself over something so dumb and trivial, right? So let's finish this out real quick. Let's look at the judgments that came.
All right.
Verse 22.
So Joshua sent messengers, and they ran unto the tent, and behold, it was hid in his tent, and the silver under it. And they took him out of the midst of the tent, and brought them unto Joshua, and unto all the children of Israel, and laid them out before the Lord. And Joshua and all of Israel with him took Achan the son of Zerah, and the silver, and the garment, and the wedge of gold, and his sons, and his daughters, and his oxen, and his donkeys, and his sheep, and his tent, and all that he had, and brought them unto the valley of Achor. And Joshua said, Why hast thou troubled us? The Lord shall trouble thee this day. And all of Israel stoned them with stones, and burned them with fire, after they had stoned them with stones. And they raised over him a great heap of stones unto this day. So the Lord turned from the fierceness of his anger, wherefore the name of the place was called the Valley of Achor unto this day.
Hey, that's a heavy story, man. And the thing about it, once again, the thing that I'm taking from this, and I want you guys to take from this story, is it's our responsibility to be holy. It's our responsibility to guard the holiness of the nation, right? At any point in time, this could have been stopped. When the man first brought the stolen goods into his house, it could have been stopped. If somebody saw him with the stolen goods, it could have been stopped. If somebody originally saw him steal the goods, it could have been stopped, right? But 36 people had to die over one man's sin. That's why his whole family had to go. Everybody had to go. And we pray that none of you have any sins that the Most High deems fit for the whole family to have to go, because that would be terrible. And so, you know, we have to uphold our standard of righteousness when it comes to this righteous counsel. You know, sometimes things happen. A brother might confide in you, and it's kind of hard to see, like, dang, bro, like this is kind of a gray area. You know, I don't know if you was wrong. I don't know if this person was wrong. We have to take counsel very seriously, because you can give somebody the wrong counsel. You can tell them that they was right and they was wrong the whole time. And now that sin, instead of uprooting that sin, now that sin has a place to grow and to fester and to become something else. And it could become a plague later on, right? It could cause the lives of some people later on. So all praises to the Most High, man. That's the lesson. I don't know if we got any announcements that we really want to make right now. Let me see. We got the feast day calendar right there. All praise. See, that brother quick. So we got the feast day calendar. At one point, the Day of Tabernacles. Actually, on this one, the Feast of Tabernacles is in the wrong month. So we'll upload the new one for you, right? But the Feast of Tabernacles will be late September instead of October. That was just a typo there. But the rest of the dates on here seem to be correct. So you guys make sure to send us an email. Hit us up if you're trying to get in the building on the feast days. We got to continue to congregate on these feast days. Sabbath days in North Carolina, we're going to make it a habit to continue to be at the school in North Carolina as much as possible. We got to communicate early. If you're going to be there, be there. If you can't be there, then let us know early, because we got people driving from an hour and a half away, and we don't want to drive all the way up there if nobody's going to be available that particular week. All right.
Slaga, Captain.
Yes, sir. Go ahead.
And first and foremost, excellent lesson.
Thank you.
That you and Kakari have brought. I do want to say something about the feast calendar. For those who want to get a hold of the feast day calendar, the one that, like Captain said, the one we have up right now, there are a few typos that will be corrected. But if you want to get this to the congregation, if you want to get this, let us know through email, AnointedHOS@gmail.com. We'll get that to you as soon as we get the typos corrected.
Yep. Yes, sir. So, hey, we love y'all, man. We appreciate y'all. Let's hit them with that Daniel 7:18.
All right. This is the book of Daniel, chapter 7, verse 18. But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever and ever.
Ba'ashem, Hamashiach, Yahushua. Hey, we love y'all. Shalom.
This is not a test.
Black skin, black sauce, black Jesus, black music, 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 black music, black music, black music, black music.